Welcome back to the channel, and this is your boy Dilly. In this video we're going to be reviewing that game against Chelsea, Manchester United against Chelsea, and touch a little bit with the game against Man City as well. I think one of the videos that I did, I think I did the review for Everton, and I said in that video I'm gonna go into the Manchester City game not really looking for anything in that game, and that's exactly how it turned out. I said the Chelsea game is going to be a little bit sketchy. We could win, and there's a much higher potential for us to get a draw in that game or to even lose that game. So I'm a little bit happy that we actually got ourselves a draw in that one. Other than that, really, I think the performance was a little bit more improved than it was against Everton, maybe a little bit more than it was against Manchester City. But at the end of the day, we have missed out on top four as a result. So right now we are sitting about 3 points or so, if I'm not mistaken, behind Chelsea. Chelsea, whom are sitting in fourth place right now. So let me just take a look at the league table right now and see what exactly is going on upstairs. And you can see at the top of the table right now, Manchester City at the top with 92 points, with only 2 games to play, only 1 point above Liverpool. So both teams, everybody at this point in time only has 2 games to play until the end of the season. So whoever is going to win the league is going to be very tight, unless one of these 2 teams manage to lose or draw in the last 2 games. There's a very good potential of finishing off the season. Whoever wins it is gonna win it by at least 1 point. Yeah, Spurs. I think Spurs are very much secure in that third place position. They might just finish fourth if anything goes wrong, but I don't think they're gonna miss out on the Champions League next season. Arsenal still do have a chance, and Chelsea as well. Both teams still have a chance to qualify for the Champions League through that Europa League, as they are involved in the semi-final. We're gonna be seeing that in a short coming days to see who's gonna make their way into the final of that. So it could be 5 teams this next season in the Champions League for the Premier League. I think that would be very much good. In that, the only disappointing part that Manchester United is not going to be involved in that competition next season. So we just need to look after the champions. The Europa League next season. Let's just take a look at the bottom of the table right now. Huddersfield Town, that's the Manchester United next game. So these guys are already relegated to the championship. So I'm not quite so sure whether they're going to be playing to win the game or just want to finish off the season. Manchester United have no other option but to get 3 points in this game, as far as I'm concerned. And then in the last day of the season, Manchester United have to play against Cardiff City. They have to get themselves 3 points in that one. Maybe Cardiff City will be playing to get themselves 3 points to survive. As you can see right now, they're only 4 points behind Brighton. It could be a very interesting finish to the end of the season. I think Fulham already being relegated there as well. The other teams, I'm pretty sure they're okay. I think Chelsea is going to be okay in that 4th spot. The top 4 to me has already been guaranteed for these teams, unless Chelsea does something very stupid and manage to lose that to Arsenal in some shape or form. But I think there's a good chance that these 2 teams might just play each other in the Europa League final as well. So yeah, at this point, I'm a little bit jealous of Arsenal. I'm a little bit jealous of Chelsea, even though they've been very much dog shit throughout the season. Not to really say anything positive about Manchester United here, because they've been very much dog shit as well. As you can see here, after 36 games, Manchester United won 19, drawn 8 games, and lost 9 games. And there's still 2 more games to play in the league, so they could very much lose at least 11 games this season. Manchester United only scoring 64 goals, allowing 51. That's the worst I have seen. David De Gea hasn't been on his bike this season, that's for sure. Maybe the defense as well is very much suspect. I think that has to be looked at very much with a close eye in the summer to address a very key issues in this team, I should say. As you can see here, only a goal difference of 13 goals and 65 points as well. Manchester City really doing the business at the top of the table here. As you can see, they've already scored 90 goals this season, only conceding 22. One of the best defensive sides this season, alongside Liverpool. There, as you can see, only 20 goals conceded throughout the season, and you can see the 68 points. No, 68 goal difference, 64 for Liverpool. Not too much of a difference between the two teams coming into the final stretch of the season there. I think it's going to be very much interesting to see who's going to win the league. I'm very disappointed, to be honest, with the performance against Chelsea. I think the game was there for Manchester United for the taking, but we just did not perform on the day for some whatever reason. I mean, I think we're due at least 2 goals in that game, at least 2 goals. But for some reason, that did not happen. I think if we have won this game, we could have been sitting at what? Let me see that. About 67 points. It could be 67 points. We would have been level with Chelsea at 67 points with 2 games to play. I think with the last two, we could have really pushed even harder and really trying to make a point and get ourselves the points that we need to qualify for the top four. But that has far gone. Now we just need to look forward for the next season. And my question is this David De Gea's last season? I have seen reports that Manchester United are trying to buy Lomblock. Is it Lomblock from Atletico Madrid for a cool 120 million release clause that they are willing to pay? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about David De Gea leaving. I mean, in the last, I would say about since really strongly after the Paris Saint-Germain game, I think everything just went down south for Manchester United. Not really anything convincing going forward. From there, I mean, the goals have been leaking left, right, and center. But if he does go this summer, for me, I would say thank you for everything you have done. I mean, you've been carrying out the team for the last 6 years or so. So, I mean, you are due to have a bad game, maybe 3 bad games a season or whatever you would like to call it. But I think David De Gea has done his part in Manchester United. I would love for him to stay. Maybe Sergio Romero and the other guy, what's his face? They can leave, but you can keep David De Gea and then buy another strong goalkeeper. I think that will really send a message coming to the next season. Of course, in defense, Manchester United really need to do a lot of work in that department. There, I think we are lacking. We are lacking leadership at the back. We are lacking pretty much everything that you want for a team, for a competitive team to try and really try maybe like win trophies or something like that. I don't think we will ever win any trophies with this team that we have right now. I don't see that happening at all. So let me just do a little bit of my player rating here. A little bit. I'm not really. Let me see here. We're gonna find that Manchester United lineup here. Now I'm just looking at this through my phone, and who was on the lineup? Of course, we did have David De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Eric Bay, Ashley Young, at the back four, and then we did have Paul Pogba, Matic, and Ander Herrera in the midfield. Mata playing there, supporting the top two guys, Marcus Rashford, and of course Romelu Lukaku. I mean, the player ratings of this one will be much better than they were against Everton. Maybe a little bit much better as well against Manchester City. I think. I mean, what can you say about Manchester City? They came to play and they came to get points. They are trying to win the Premier League as well. So for me, it is very much well deserved for Manchester City to be winning that league title instead of Liverpool. So in a sense, I'm a little bit happy. In another sense, I'm like, we cannot be watching Manchester City winning things, and we are still fighting for top four. We cannot let that happen. So my player rating right now, David De Gea, for me, um, I'll give him a strong. I mean, that goal he considered against Chelsea. Come on, son. Come on. For me, I'll give him a strong 5 for that performance. He can do way better than that. Luke Shaw, I didn't think it did that badly. Maybe another 5 as well for him. Victor Lindelof. I mean, I'm giving out these player ratings. You might Some people might think it's harsh, but I think this team could have done way better than they did against Chelsea. Chelsea were there for the taking. So for me, it was an opportunity missed. That was right there in your hands. You just let it slip. So for me, that's not good enough. For Victor Lindelof, I'll give him I think he'd be okay with a 6. Eric Bay, the boy got an injury in the second half. Not really something you want to see going forward, but he did get an injury there. It's probably out for the season as well. For him, I'll give him a strong 5, I would like to think. I mean, I haven't really seen anything from him throughout the season. He hasn't really featured in many games this season, Eric Bay. Ashley Young still getting that team uh, mention. I don't even know how or why Ashley Young is still in this team at this point in time. It's been very much horrible throughout the season. For me, in this one, I'll give him a strong 4. I think it's well deserved. This game needed somebody like Ander Herrera, of course, coming into this one. I think he played very well. Uh, I mean, he really provided the balance that I think the team kind of needed a little bit. So for him, I'll give him a strong 6. Probably 6 is gonna be my highest at this point. Matic is still slow as usual, but I think he put in a shift. I would like to think. I think he really kind of, yeah. I think Matic did not too bad in this one, so I'll give him a strong 5 as well. Um, Paul Popper. I mean, after that short button that he was doing against Everton, I don't think he played that bad in this one. It's just that nothing was coming off. Everything that he was trying was not really coming off as much as everybody would want to, maybe as much as he would want to. So for him, I'll give him a strong, I'd say a strong 6. Maybe I'm just being too nice with that as well. Maybe 5 is pretty much reasonable, but I'll just keep it a strong 6. And Juan Mata, of course, coming up with the goal. For me, after that, Juan Mata is a player you need in some situations, and most of the time, I don't think you really need Juan Mata. At some point, I was thinking to myself, why not just substitute Juan Mata and put in maybe Andreas Pereira while there's still time to try and push forward and maybe get another goal. But the coach did not do that. With with no urgency at all. So for me, I think Juan Mata, yes, he scored a goal, but I think he could have been substituted way quicker than he was. I think he was substituted like in the 81st minute, if I'm not mistaken. So with that, I'll give Juan Mata a strong 6. Maybe if I say a 7, that would be a little bit more undeserving of him for sure. But he did score a goal. He got us a point. So I guess a 7 would be much more fitting. And then we did have Rashford as well. This time around, once again, the boy nowhere to be found, Marcus Rashford. So I'm not quite so sure whether this guy wants to be in the team anymore, or things are just not happening nowadays. I'm not quite so sure. Maybe he's running on that phase where players just don't perform it sometimes, which is understandable. I mean, he has put in a shift this season, maybe just tired or whatever. But other than that, I think I'll give him a strong 5, Marcus Rashford. I could go lower as 4 in this one. But Lukaku, I think he played it much better in this one than he did against Everton. Of course, maybe against Manchester City as well. But I think this one, he wanted the game even more. I think he was one of the players who was really trying to push forward and trying to make things happen up front. But of course, with his touch and all that, you know, not too much is going to happen on that front. So had that has been my player rating, and of course Romelu Lukaku, I think I will give him a strong 5 for this one. I think this team could have done much better. I think a win was in the books for this one against Chelsea, but the boys just chose not to wanna play for some reason, not to really wanna go for the game and get 3 points, and then ended up with a point, which is, you could say, is fair, depending on who you support. If you're a neutral, you'd be like Manchester United could have got themselves 3 points in this one, but not to be. And I have been your boy Dilly. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, of course, and I think I'm gonna be doing some of this a little bit more going forward. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.